I believe all of us in attendance today are excited and optimistic about the recovery of the aviation industry and what is to come. As you have heard, the International Air Transport Association, IATA, announced in the late June that global air travel in 2022 is expected to reach 3.8 billion passengers, an increase of 70% from the previous year, with the number of passengers recovery hitting 80% of pre-pandemic levels. Together with the corresponding recovery in airline demand, countries within the Asia-Pacific region also demonstrated their confidence by identifying strategic sector for economic growth. Indonesia will be the sixth largest air transportation market by 2034, according to IATA. The revitalization of Indonesia's aerospace industry has been seen crucial for increasing the nation's productivity and achieving the Golden Indonesia 2045 vision. In Malaysia, the aerospace industry has been identified by the RMK-12 as a key strategic industry for Malaysia's continued progress, underpinned by the National Aerospace Industry Blueprint 2030. These examples make it clear that flying is here to stay and will continue to grow. And against this backdrop, it is more critical than ever for both aviation and aerospace industry to come together to find ways to achieve growth in a responsible and a sustainable way. Fortunately, as demonstrated today from the discussions, it has been heartening to see that the industry shares similar ambitions and is committed to working collaboratively and taking concrete steps to chart a greener flight path for sustainable long-term growth. My takeaway is that we need a three-pronged approach. The first, strengthening the intersection between collaboration and sustainability plans. Second, investment in aviation technologies. And third, developing global talent and capability. Let me first talk about collaboration with a plan. The development of a cleaner and greener aviation industry will require not only collaboration and innovation from multiple parties, but alignment that can harness the collective resolve, resources, and capabilities of all stakeholders, including governments, industry associations, corporates, and academia. Globally, we see governments and industry associations making significant progress in partnering public and private sectors along with academia to accelerate the net zero transition. Over the last few years, the UK government has made enormous strides towards building a net zero future. The UK aviation industry was one of the first to commit to a goal of achieving net zero carbon by 2050. In May, the UK Civil Aviation Authority published its new environmental sustainability strategy to establish a clear approach and prioritization to improve the environmental performance in relation to emissions, noise, and air quality across the aviation and aerospace industry. The UK CAA has also created an environmental sustainability panel with technical experts to challenge and support the organizations in delivering their environmental sustainability strategy. The focus from governments is also seen in the region. In Australia, the plans were announced in March to deliver a new aviation white paper, which will look at several initiatives, including how to maximize the aviation sector's contribution to achieving net zero carbon emissions through sustainable aviation fuel and emerging technologies. Malaysia announced the formation of the Sustainable Aviation Energy Task Force to provide policy recommendations and coordinate the implementation of public-private partnerships to help achieve reduction in CO2 emissions. The approach is likely to be adopted in Malaysia is to focus on near-term solutions such as blended SAFs and technology innovations to improve the aircraft efficiency. Closer to home, Singapore, one of Rolls-Royce's global hubs and where I'm currently based, has been making great strides in this space. The Republic announced its Singapore Green Plan 2030 and is committed to working with other nations and partners to achieve this goal. One recent example is the bilateral agreement signed between Singapore and New Zealand earlier this year. The agreement serves as a strong testament as to how countries can work together on policy, and regulation, industry development, future infrastructure planning, and workforce transformations in areas such as sustainable aviation and hydrogen-based fuels. We are furthermore deeply encouraged that our valued partners are making enormous progress and are leading the way in the journey towards net zero. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore, Singapore Airlines, and Temasek have signed a collaboration agreement on the scale of SAF credits. Changi Airport Group has also begun SAF studies with ambitions to become one of the first movers in the supply and trading of SAF and hydrogen for commercial aviation in the region. In the Philippines, earlier this year, Cebu Pacific used green fuel to power its Airbus A330neo aircraft on a flight from France to Manila, becoming the first low-cost carrier in the APAC region to incorporate SAF into its operations. For our industry, the use of SAF will be an important means of meeting the commitments made under the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, of which the Philippines is a signatory, and we are furthermore encouraged by the nation's commitment to reduce its carbon emissions by 75% by 2030. Whilst the government can be a critical enabler, we can also see industry move with enormous pace. To support the development of SAF in Australia, Europe's Airbus and Qantas Airways announced in June that they will form a joint venture in SAF with investment of $200 million. Together, Qantas Airways and Airbus also make sure the world's longest non-stop flights, which connect to the coast, as carbon efficient as possible. In particularly, the Airbus A350 selected for this project can fly on 100% SAFs, demonstrating Qantas Group's commitment to reducing net emission by 25% by 2030, alongside increasing its uptake of SAF by 10% by 2030. To support airlines' ambitions targets to decarbonize aviation, Rolls-Royce is also making significant progress to ensure all our Trent engines used across our wide range of long-haul aircraft are compatible with sustainable fuels by 2023. Our current Trent XWB engine is an example and is currently the world's most efficient aero engine in service, supporting airlines on their sustainability journey. The engine is 15% more fuel efficient compared to the first generation of Trent engines. It is also ready to operate on 50% sustainable aviation fuel as they become more available to airlines in the future. It is indeed exciting to see that substantial progress has been made in the testing and development of SAFs, which is often regarded as one of the key decarbonization levers in the aviation sector. However, as we move towards 2050, apart from SAF, we must also advance the development of novel technologies for the urban and regional air mobility markets of tomorrow. Some of these other technologies include new propulsion technologies, such as hydrogen, electric power, and gas turbine efficiency. As a technology company, Rolls-Royce sees technology as a key enabler for success, and we, along with our partners, are researching and developing additional low and net zero carbon technologies that will enable our operations and the industry to achieve net zero, such as the use of electrification. We are pleased to have made significant headwinds in this space. Last year, our Spirit of Innovation aircraft clocked a maximum speed of 623 kilometers per hour, making it the world's fastest all-electric vehicle. We're also working with our partners such as Hyundai to develop a fuel cell electric propulsion system for advanced air mobility, as well as with EasyJet on hydrogen combustion engine technology. We must also ensure that the source power we're using is sustainable. To this end, Rolls-Royce is actively supporting the development and deployment of small modular reactors power stations that enable the production of clean fuels, such as SAFs and green hydrogen, to help accelerate the energy transition across the wider aviation sector. We all have a role to play, and investment in green technologies will be critical in reducing carbon emissions. As the industry works on research, and we must also acknowledge that exceptional engineering talent is key to accelerating innovations that will take businesses societies, and economies towards a net zero future. Therefore, investing in people and capability development to build a strong talent pool is vital as the industry transforms. It is important that we recognize and develop talent at a young age. This includes facilitating access to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education to propel early interest and support talent development for the future benefit of our business, industries, and economy. In the same vein, companies and the industry will also need to constantly look at skilling and reskilling their employees to ensure they can make full use of the latest technological advancements. As we look ahead to a net zero carbon future, growing populations and increased pressure on transport networks will deliver new challenges for an industry in transition. This is particularly the case for the APAC region, where we anticipate exceptional growth in passenger demand and the wider aerospace sector. A sustainable future is possible through investments in research and technology, close-knitted collaboration among stakeholders, and talent development. Together, we can lessen the environmental burden and not only contribute to a net zero world, but achieve it. Thank you.